Hello, Justice Warriors. Good afternoon. 5 minutes before the eclipse is beginning to start with just like the initial stuff. I know it's not for like another hour until it really gets going, but it's supposed to start with something in about 5 minutes. I think like 1:13. I was trying to be done with my live around now, but you know how that goes. The best intentions. Anyway, I see that I'm all alone. Go through my regular stuff. Please make sure you're still subscribed if you are subscribed, and you can share the video if you like it. And come to think of it, I figured that a lot of people would be out and about with the eclipse and wouldn't be wanting to be live anyway. Me, I don't want to go outside. I'll tell you why. Okay. Turn on your notification bell to ring if you like. Hey, Bex, my new wrench. How are you, girl? How is the life? Are you excited about this eclipse? I mean, I'm excited, but I'm also a little concerned and a little indifferent. Like the last eclipse was cool, but I wasn't like right in the path of it. So I'm concerned because our ozone has depleted. That's one of my concerns. So if it can do to your retinas what it can do, then who's to say it's not doing other terrible stuff to your skin? And wait and see. That's how I've been my whole life, ever since I was really little. It's like you don't even know, like now, like at the end of the day, we won't know. You won't know until 50 years from now, the way medical research works. And anyway, I don't want to sound paranoid because I know that that can sound paranoid, but you just never know. You absolutely never know. My day is good so far. The eclipse doesn't bother me either way. It is what it is, I guess. LOL. I mean, I think it's cool. I just am concerned. So I came on to talk about the cases that we've been talking about. I wanted to clear up a couple of mistakes I made in my last video from Friday. I said that this guy, Thomas Kingston, the ex-boyfriend of Pippa Middleton, who passed away on February 25th. When I thought the word February came out of my mouth, the first time I said the date, somehow September was the one that came out. So then throughout the context of the rest of what I was saying, it was really obvious that I was talking about, just 6 weeks prior. But I just thought I would clarify because I went ahead and put a note in there. There's not a way for me with the program, the editing program that I have on my laptop. There's not a way for me to just like stick a little subtitle in there and say, I meant, anyway, there was that little mistake. There was another small mistake too that, of course, I didn't write these down. Thought I could rely on me brain. We will wait and see if anything comes. Yes. So it's just me and you, girlfriend. That's cool. We'll have a little tea party, the two of us. So what was the other little mistake that I made? I thought it was good to clarify. Oh, just that the video that I was talking about, having seen some weird stuff with surveys being sent out via voicemail, I think, in the Idaho 4 case. I had said that I thought it was from a Neeks Peaks video. It was actually from a Jewels of All Trade video. So I wanted to give her full credit for that. Again, I cleaned that up in the description and I put the link to her video that I was referring to. So those are the only two big blunders. And I might have said, this is another one, and I can't remember if it was from Friday or maybe the day before that, talking about Jane Asher, who was engaged to Paul McCartney in 1966. So she's written some books, some really interesting books that I have not had the chance to purchase, let alone read quite yet, but I am dying to. So I might have called her Jane Austen, which we all know Jane Austen. That's a whole nother famous author. This Jane Asher was very famous before she became engaged to Paul McCartney. So she was engaged to Paul McCartney when he had the alleged car accident that may or may not be a conspiracy theory. And then they called off the engagement. She called off the engagement. Um, and like she was kind of like a Martha Stewart type. I think she had like a cooking show, a home decor show, that kind of thing. She was also a model and an actress. And Paul, who has also been called Fall, like Faul for fake Paul. Uh, the real Paul was living with her and her parents when they were engaged. And then once the engagement was called off and this whole conspiracy thing started, it's either a conspiracy or a conspiracy theory. It's one of the two. So we can just call it a conspiracy thing. How about that? Once it started, which it didn't really get rolling for a couple of years, a lot of people have referred to Paul McCartney as Fall. And a lot of people consider it common knowledge that Paul McCartney that we see who went off and did the Wings, that he's not the original Paul McCartney, that he's the Billy Shears guy. He's, the one that they sing about in all the songs. Anyway, we got CB. Yay, nice to see you guys. So let me say, everything that I say is simply my crazy conspiracy theory, allegedly, in my opinion, humbly. And you know how I always want to throw Rich Lux his credit for coming up with that variation on that phrase. I don't want anyone to think that I'm trying to pretend that I made it up because it's so funny and I'm just not that clever. Anyway, all of my videos are made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. I aim to be educational. I do aim to add some lightness and to be funny. I really aim to connect with you guys because I feel like it's important for my humanity to connect with folks. And I feel like it's something we all need. So that's really a nutshell of what I'm doing here. Trying to enlighten myself, hoping that other people will come into my chat and tell me what's really going on. And I invite you to express your own opinion, whether it is in line with mine or not. We did have a bit of a troll situation my last live, which was Friday. And thanks to the mods who took care of that, like lickety split, I never even got to like undelete their message or just peek at it so I could see. It was Rapper. And I don't know who Rapper is, but let's just talk about these trolls in general, because some of these people, and I don't want to go around naming names because it just doesn't matter, but I'll use the R. Kelly case as an example. So there's a woman who's very large and heavy set, and you just can't miss her, who would be outside the court of the R. Kelly trial saying, "Free R. Kelly, we love R. Kelly, R. Kelly's innocent." And she seemed pretty off her rocker. But it turns out that she was hired by R. Kelly's people, allegedly. So one of the parents of one of the victims that he kidnapped recognized her from a video where they saw their daughter in the video, and this woman was walking right next to. So she's actually allegedly a handler of the victims, or was. But she played dual roles. So one of the things that the gaslighters love to do is confuse and just put fake narratives out there. So if they can get one crazy mama to come out swinging saying, this is a setup, this is a railroad, he never did any of this, even though there's all that evidence in front of us, all it takes is one sometimes, you guys, just to plant that seed of doubt. But then you get 2, you get 3, you get 4. So you might have thousands of people with all the evidence that he did these things. And then you get a few on the other side, and it really muddies up the water. Because first of all, none of us want to believe that anyone would do the things that he did. Like, why would you urinate in somebody's mouth? Sorry, trigger warning. Why in the world would you do that? Let me just answer that, because there's a few reasons. But the first one that comes to mind is that maybe that happened to him when he was little. And it's so confusing when people do such disgusting, hurtful, dangerous things. You just can't even make sense of it. But one of the things that victims do is they not only relive their trauma in their imagination, they literally will relive their trauma in their life. So they might even set out to interact with the person who victimized them. Also, they will set out to interact with other people and explore the same dynamic to try to figure out what went wrong, or just to try to figure it out in general. It's very common for people that have been traumatized to just keep replaying that same scenario for years, for a lifetime. Like, real typical, again, trigger warning, is somebody who was sexually violated as a child. It's not uncommon for somebody victimized like that to become promiscuous as an adult. And often what they're doing is, consciously or unconsciously, they're trying to relive the experience so that they can comprehend it more, and so that they can kind of try to control the narrative. And that is exactly how victims can then sometimes cross over into being perpetrators themselves. So, not to oversimplify, I don't want to go on and on about that, but there's so much truth to that. And anybody with any personal experience or professional experience, I would imagine, understands exactly what it is I'm talking about. I would like to open the floor if there's any questions, if there's anybody out there who's like, wait, what? Go ahead and ask away. So I see we have Fred Field, and what's this? Hold on, let me just look, because a text message came across 2 minutes ago, and maybe it's about the sun blowing up the moon or something. Okay. It's kind of about the sun blowing up the moon. Let me just respond to them. I'll say, can you please give my husband a call? Okay. So yeah, that was the vet, and I do need to talk to the vet. The dog does have a bad result from the biopsy, so it doesn't mean the end of the world. It doesn't mean that the sun and the moon are blowing up, but it, you know, isn't the best situation. So we'll have to figure out the course of treatment from here. So sorry about that. I'm glad that I saw the text, and I just asked her to give my husband a call. So let me catch up with you guys. Think some are here, Bex, and I gotcha. We're on Troll Patrol. Oh, that's so cute. I love it. Yeah. So these trolls, some of them are certainly paid, in my opinion. And the ones that aren't paid, sure, they might just be complete nut jobs. But I think more likely they're getting like a indirect vicarious payoff. So just my opinion. Just us and 10 lurkers, CB says. Oh, really? We have 10 lurkers? That's cute. Hey, lurkers and trolls and fans and haters and viewers and moderators. I love you all. Thanks for being here. Yes, Bex, R. Kelly. I know it's so sad, but it's so great that the victims continued to pursue justice. He's in jail for 30 years. Starting a year ago, I think, was when he got sentenced to 31 years. It seems that the same type of thing could be happening with P. Diddy. Same, very similar thing to what happened with Epstein and Weinstein and Bill Cosby, although then he got off on a technicality. Terrible. So, Fred, nice to see you all. Just got to say, Jazz, your live 2 weeks ago on Wednesday in chat, I commented there was definitely something weird in the air. And literally an hour later, my son's friend's car crash. Crazy sadness. Oh, CB, I'm so sorry. I hope that the friend is okay. I dare I ask? Yeah. Yeah, there's thanks for the prayers for the pup. So yeah, Coco's biopsy came back that she sarcoma, I think is what the diagnosis was, and it's like the lowest level. So there's a moderate prognosis at this point. We need to make an appointment to sit down with the vet to really learn more. But we're gonna do the radiation, I think. I don't know if we'll have to do more surgery. Anyway, it's a little funny, not funny, that it is very similar to Princess Kate and her allegations of cancer removal and then the preemptive chemotherapy, I think is what they were saying with her. And then somebody in my chat last week said they don't do preventive chemotherapy. They do preventive radiation therapy, which is what I think we're doing with the dog. But, I'm still right where I was when we left off with Kate Middleton. I am very concerned that she's possibly not alive or that she is not doing well at all. Present for 20 minutes, then I'm off to watch the eclipse with my boy. Oh, thank you, Shan, for being here. Yeah, I didn't want to take anyone away from watching the eclipse. If you're going to watch it, definitely wear the glasses. We all know that. But I just say be cautious. Don't stare at the sun, Shan. Right. Even if you have the glasses on, don't stare at the sun, because the little ring around the moon or the earth, the shadow, can still mess with your retinas, and we don't want to take chances. Sunset Salty Sage, who saved the day with Rapper on Friday. So yeah, you guys, I am just laughing at myself all weekend. Remember, before I signed off on Friday, I said how I was fairly confident that I would survive the weekend because I'd been building up all my stamina and all my yoga skills, with a Z, skills, and I barely survived. I can't believe I'm doing a live right now. I woke up on Sunday morning, like almost unable to move, but I went to Sunday's class just the same and, tried to modify things as much as I could, but everything hurt. Wait till I tell you what we had done on Saturday. And then I think we did more of it Sunday. I don't know. It's all blur. All I know is that I did survive, and I didn't take any ibuprofen or anything, which I would have if I had it with me, but I didn't. So I did take a little ibuprofen this morning. So we were doing headstands, handstands, and other inversions like forearm stands. And I can't even remember like what I could do and couldn't do because I've never been able to do any of those things. And I went ahead and gave it a good old college try, and I was able to do a lot more than I thought I could. But it had been so long since I'd done a headstand that I literally forgot and thought, oh, I've never done a headstand, have I? I do shoulder stands. I've done those my whole life, and I could get that back pretty quickly once I started practicing regularly again. But that's hard, doing a shoulder stand when you haven't done one in a while. Everything is hard if you've not been keeping up with it. I'm starting right at that bitch. Trump seems just fine, and he looked without glasses on. Oh, you're funny, Shan. You'll all have better views. We are like 19%, but I have a welder's mark. I will look. Oh, CB. Wow. Yeah, that would do it, huh? I do have glasses, though. Maybe I'll double up on them. I get a 90% view, but I don't think I'm a risk for my camera for it, my 1700 camera. I thought it after trying call my after trying my cell phone at the last one. Oh, interesting. I rethought it after trying my cell phone at the last one. Yeah, I don't know what that would do. Taking a photograph with your device. Yeah, I just don't think I'm going to mess with it. I will probably look out the window. I don't know. That's about it. So I might even stay live, but I was planning to be done with the live so that I could explore what in the world's going on out there in the intergalactic uh, oddity, space oddity, right? I've got the glasses, but I don't think we're going to see anything here. And see, I'm in Ohio, so we're like right in the freaking path. We are right in the path. Like maybe not 100%, but close, I think. Hold the solar glasses up to your phone lens. It does work. Wow, CB, let me highlight that. Interesting. My brother is in direct line with it. It just misses me. I'm working, so I won't be trying to peek at it. It's cloudy here, so I'm not expecting the greatest view. Yeah, I don't know if it's cloudy here or not. I could look out the window, but I got the blackout curtain, and I'm more interested in talking with you guys. So, anyway, I keep starting things, ideas, talking points, and not finishing them. So, what is one of them that I need to finish? Did I finish about our dog? So, she's doing well. Let me say the good news is she's very comfortable and she's in good spirits. And after she had the staples put in, was that Thursday that she had the staples put in? I can't even remember. She's been fine. So there's that. Thank goodness. And even if she has cancer, sure, it's expensive to pay all the vet bills, but we have her and she's comfortable. And all you can do is live every day to the fullest, in my opinion. So it was nice to have the yoga weekend. You know, I thought I was going to find out on Saturday, but I didn't find out until Saturday night after I was done with the day's torture. and and then, I think I was so wrung out physically from the headstands, the handstands, and the forearm stands. And I think I could do every one of them. I mean, not every one of the variations, but I did a handstand for the first time in my life, you guys. Other than in a swimming pool, which, it's great doing a handstand in a swimming pool. And maybe when I was little, I did handstands up against the wall. I bet I did. So, anyway, I tried a handstand in a new way that I wanted to share with you because it was freaking fun. I didn't think I could do it, but everybody else was doing it. So I gave it the good old college try and it worked. The thing with the forearms, my upper body just isn't as strong as it might need to be to really master these things. But I'm going to keep working at it because there's a lot of benefits from the inversions. And yeah, so I was wrung out physically Saturday night and then wrung out mentally. And then Sunday, I didn't even share in my yoga group about the biopsy results until the very, very tail end of it. And it's not because I was trying to do that. It was just, I was, I guess, a bit overwhelmed and just trying to stay in the moment and trying to manage all the aches and pains that I was having from all the crazy pretzel doings from the day before. And then we had to do more pretzel doings yesterday. Like I said, I spoke way too soon when I said I thought that I could survive the weekend without question. It was a big question. So the thing with the handstand that I've never done, maybe some of you have done it, is like you sit your bottom up against the corner where the wall and the floor meet, and then the length distance that your feet are is exactly where you then flip over and put your hands, and then you kind of climb up the wall backwards with your feet. Does that make sense? It's cool. It's really cool. I never tried that, and I was able to do it. And I thought like if I could do it, that my arms would be all shaky, and they weren't. I mean, I wasn't as good at it as some of my classmates, but it was just cool to do something for the first time. And inversions are, like I said, they're very good. They have a lot of health benefits that I don't know if we need to go into that or not, because I keep starting so many ideas and then not finishing the idea because, me crazy. Maybe it's the eclipse. It's getting to me. I wanted to talk more about Stacy Peterson and Drew Peterson because I told you guys about watching the 2012 Lifetime television movie that was made about that whole thing back. I think it was released right around the same time that he was finally arrested for the red rum of his third wife. And that's the one that he's currently serving a prison sentence for. But you guys know he put a hit out on the prosecuting attorney that put him in jail. Like, this man is more than a little wacko. And still, Stacy Peterson's remains have yet to be found. I don't know that there's very many content creators even talking about it. Who was it that I did see? The Mob Crew, Monsters Under the Bed. I think I saw that he did like a 16-minute video talking about that weird little 5-minute clip that News Nation released with Cassandra, Stacy's sister. You guys, I highly recommend keeping up with the Stacy Peterson case because hopefully they will identify whose remains are in the river, if it is indeed human remains that Cassandra has found. The whole situation is so crazy. And Drew Peterson is already sentenced to be in prison until, I don't know, like 2071 or something like that. And he's already in his 70s. So he's got a life sentence, basically. But that still doesn't give resolve for Stacy Peterson's family and for his freaking kids. They had 2 biological children together, and then he had 2 sons with the third wife that he had been convicted of unaliving, and that Stacy realized he had unalived, and that was when she was trying to get away from him and the marriage. And then I think he has 2 kids from prior to that. So I think he has 6 children altogether, and hopefully they're all okay. I mean, that would just so mess with your head. So I have a special UV solar lens for my camera, but I'm scared to risk it. I can't afford a new camera anytime soon. Yeah, I would take care of the camera because there'll be so many good images that people have, and they'll be sharing them freely, I would think. I have welder's glasses. I think it's shade 8. It will work, Shan. Just do it at totality. Okay. And yeah. Oh, it's 1:35, so we're 20 minutes in. We're getting closer to the totality. Okay, I'll use glasses on my cell phone. Good to know. Hugs for Coco. Yeah, she's such a good girl. She's such a love bug. And I did put some more photographs of her up. Oh, and I actually put the announcement of the results of the biopsy in that community post over the weekend. I think I put that up Saturday night because I did want to share with my people right away. Thank you for the support, you guys. Yeah, it's hard. Life sucks sometimes, does it not? Just, we got to be real. We got to be frank, right? Volcanoes popping off on Ring of Fire, CB. A hug to your boy. Just don't look, Sunset. Let the camera do it. Harsh one, True Crime. Can I make you a moderator? Please add as a moderator. If you don't want me to, I'll undo it, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because I made a couple of folks moderators over the weekend. Thank you, Bex. And let's see. And I thought of you, Harsh one. I thought that would be nice. Ninja Chihuahua also. So welcome to the new mods. And thank you everybody for being here. And Xena, our Kylie warrior. Yes, let's talk about Kylie. Man, I am just so impressed with all the videos that Shan and Mark and Ara and others keep pumping out. And again, we really have to ask ourselves about the I don't know if you want to call them trolls or actors or whatever that come out of the woodwork in the Kylie case, and how many of them are like directly hired, and how many of them are simply getting vicarious payment, and how many of them are just freaking plain nuts. I think most of them are going to fall into the first two categories. Like, yeah, there's a lot of nut jobs out in the world, but they're not going to be so specifically devoted to, I think, just a one case like this. I think that those folks are hired. I think that the two ex boyfriends of Kylie's at the party, I think we need to look at both of them, especially the one who we know for a fact was there. And I'm pretty sure it may be a fact that they were hanging out that night, right? Not Jägermeister, the other one. I mean, I'm still very suspicious of Jägermeister too. I mean, he's the one of the people who posted that picture of what looks like a rigor mortis Kylie drinking, like the weirdest photo. Like what do they call that photo? Tired? I mean, I know there's the one called Sleepy. There's a name for that one too. And it's just creepy AF. And why on earth did Jägermeister post that photograph? Remember him holding it? So it's like a close up of his thumb, and it's a mini Polaroid, and the picture's like taken, isn't it taken like by the odometer of the Honda CRV that he's driving that has the "Long Live Kylie" painted on the steering column? Yeah, I don't think anything is right in that case. I really don't. I think the fact that the sheriff of Placer County had not only done what he did and admitted to, he did that on company time, screwing around with the 16-year-old that was a ride along that he swore that he thought was 18, which is completely insane because it wouldn't matter if she was in her 40s. He's on duty, you guys. Like, yeah, any cop knows you don't do that crap when you're on duty unless you work for Wazoo or Pullman PD. Then you can do it all you want, right? No. Disgusting. So he admitted to these things. He also forced her to terminate the pregnancy. Sounds a lot like R. Kelly, doesn't it, with Aaliyah? These people are sick freaks. If they can get away with what we know about, imagine all the things that we don't know about. And so 1 month after Sheriff Wayne Wu gets sworn in, Ms. Kylie Rodney goes missing, allegedly, if the date's not askew, which I assume that it probably is askew. And then 2 months after that, Trinity Backus goes missing. And the stories are just too weird, you guys. The stories just don't add up at all. And, you know, I had just started my YouTube channel in September, like the very tail end of August of 2022, and was pretty much just covering our dear Kylie. And then it was you guys in my chat who were trying to push me to look at Trinity Backus, and I was like, stop it, back off, don't try to distract me. And I really thought that some of that was trolls trying to distract me to look at another case, to look away from Kylie. And then once I looked at the other case, I was like, oh, thanks for telling me, you guys. Sorry I got so defensive. You know, I was just new and didn't know what to think. So then I got very interested in Trinity Backus's case because of my intelligent viewers and commenters. And then when the Idaho 4 happened, I was just like, I don't want to look at that mess because my first instinct, I've said this a handful of times, is that that's not going to happen without a huge coordinated effort and basically a green light given by the authorities. So my last video, I was talking about incels being a terrorist group, which I know that I have talked about that in other videos, and other content creators have talked about incels being a terrorist group recognized by the feds, right? But the thing that I was saying, and I'm just reiterating because I didn't speak specifically enough to it, is that if they really did think it was an incel who did the crime, I would think that it would be of the utmost importance to rule out the attack being a terrorist attack, because it's a terrorist group. And then I told you guys on Friday that what defines a terrorist attack is it being politically motivated. And people have a lot of strange politics, especially in this day and age. And I want to say, especially in Idaho. I mean, that's known for being a very unique political climate, to put it mildly, to put it politely. Anyway, I don't know that it's ever really been considered a possibility that this was a terrorist attack, and ruling out any type of political motivation. I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy. So let me see what you guys are saying. I don't know about that sunset. Binoculars. Yikes. What do you think? Binoculars with glasses. That sounds scary. I wouldn't try it. No, no, no. No, I would not try it. Totality is at 328 to 332 for me in New Hampshire. Thank you for that, Bex. And right now it's 1:43 on East Coast Standard Time. Yeah, I think our totality here in Ohio is a few minutes after 3 o'clock, I think. And then, yeah, it lasts about 14 minutes. Wait, what? You're 5 hours ahead of California, Bex? No, Bex is 3 hours ahead, like I am, I believe. So she's talking about just the totality part. But it's interesting too, because you have the whole arc of the way things move. So I mean, the physics of it are going to be very different for every spot on the planet, I would think. And CB says 4 LOL, never mind. 3 LOL. Okay. It starts at 2:01 here for me. Totality is 3:17 for me. I have 5 sets of glasses. Fee is going to use his phone. So squirrels, I thought that it started here at about 1:15-ish, and I'm just a state away. So I don't know. But not in the totality until closer to your totality, because I know you're pretty close to the Ohio border. Oh, Sleepy and shh. Right. Thank you, Squirrels. So Sleepy is the one where she's wearing the flannel shirt, and Squirrels did an amazing job with that breakdown. And that, I believe, is a big portion of your longest live ever, which was the one that was close to 11 hours that we were talking about recently. And you were going to make some much shorter videos out of it to get some of that information into more manageable size drops. And yeah, shh is the one with the weird drink thing. And whatever that weird, let me just say it, phallic looking thing is, that's like near the weird drink thing. I think that same phallic type of article is in the Sleepy photograph, like near the white sweatshirt, or what looks like a white sweatshirt. It looks to me like the same kind of staff, and it grosses me out. I'm curious if you have some thoughts about that. Jaeger admits to taking it. I'll bet he regrets it. He admits to taking that photograph, Shan? Wish he'd speak up, but he probably can't because investigation. I really don't think there's an investigation, CB. I hope I'm completely incorrect. Let's hope someone sent it to him, because if he did take it, then he captured not only Kylie in half water, but the people in the background who partook in it. Right. And he'd be a co-conspirator. He'd be an accessory and an accomplice. Wow. So yeah, maybe he's uh, lying, saying that he took it for whatever reason. I mean, it's sort of like the Watts case. Like everything is lies in the Watts case. If it's coming from NK or Chris Watts, I think anything coming from the people around Kylie, it's all lies. Because any of them that would tell the truth would probably have the same thing happen to them that happened to her. And I keep wondering more and more if what happened to her might not be along the same parallel lines as what happened to people that survived R. Kelly. I hope not, but it's just kind of such a no brainer. A hot 16-year-old at a party. Come on. This is what those sick freaks do. They drug young women so that they can assault them. It's disgusting, but I think the chances are more than just a remote possibility, to say the least. And then something could have gone terribly wrong and she could be deceased. But yeah, my instinct, my opinion tells me at this point that Scammy had everything to do with hurting Kylie and maybe orchestrating this and maybe profiting. When you think about her parents owning a private investigative firm, like they're going to know all the ins and outs of how to be deceptive. So, and then being friends with people in the federal government, not to mention just all the heavy hitters that hang out in Tahoe that are probably all their clients, because I think a large part of their Sierra Tahoe investigates, if that's the name of their business, it's something like that. A large part of their profits, I know they do a lot of government contracts, but they probably also help a lot with surveillance systems on people's properties, especially people that are not at that property that they own in Tahoe very often. So I would think that the Sierra Tahoe Investigates, if that's the correct name, I would think that they're not only making a lot of money off of all this, and we know that Scammy's parents are in full control of a lot of the community funds, like probably the community recreation center, community arts, all that type of stuff, any kind of scholarship stuff, that all goes through Scammy's parents, allegedly. But then you think of that other ex-boyfriend at Kylie's, the one that was at the party, and his daddy and his granddaddy and his great granddaddy have been lined up with the heavy hitters and the rainmakers globally for generations, at least 4 generations, you guys. So if he was involved in this, which it seems like he was, that's why such an extreme cover up. Like I said, not just the money, but the personal connections. I mean, it's crazy what people will do for someone that they know, but a lot of times it's because the person that they know has dirt on them that could be just as destructive if they didn't do it. So they kind of have no choice in a sense. It's a catch-22. I wish he'd speak up. Yeah. Let's see. Thanks, Squirrel, for the hope, for the little asterisks with hope. Yeah, I figured. I can't believe he thought we were dumb enough to buy that puppet cup. It's all sinking in for me. God is good. Puppet cup. Oh, the puppet cup. Yeah. Oh, it's so creepy. I remember the first time I saw that photograph and I was just like, WTF. I was like, what is that? And the people around me, like probably in a chat, or I don't know if I was on panel with you, Shan, or what, But people responded that it was Kylie drinking. And I was like, but that thing that looks like it's supposed to be a hand looks like it has 20 fingers, like it's rope or something. Like, what? Like, I was just baffled immediately. Immediately. I'm still suspicious of the freaking Weekend at Bernie's photograph of the three girls in the car. The oh, what is that stupid thing called? The Be Real. So I know that there's a girl who says, "Oh, that's me." I don't necessarily believe her. I don't believe anything in these cases, you guys. And to me, it looks again like a Kylie potentially in rigor mortis, and the bruising, like all the weird like purple around the lips and the mouth and the eyes closed and the propping up, and yeah, I am creeped out. Is there another one, or is it just those three? The sleepy, and then the what I call the Weekend at Bernie's one. It's not even just the pick. All the picks that came to be have some meaning, in my opinion. Right. And the weird videos too. The videos that Scammy posted. And again, some of what I think is our best evidence is not only that they were posted, it's when they were posted, and then it's the fact that they were taken down. Like, thank you for taking it down, because you're just hitting home the probability that it's sus AF. Otherwise, you'd just leave it up and say, oh, it's nothing. Like her dancing out at freaking Boca with her headlamp on and the Coors beer the night after Kylie was discovered. Yeah, I'm risking my camera. F it, Squirrel says. Yeah, and I'm thinking of keeping this one a little bit short. It's like 46 minutes, so maybe we'll start to think about wrapping up so that we can all go and destroy our retinas. I was mathing like the KR case. Sorry. Yeah. Sunset says 3. Yes. 3 o'clock. Fred Field, sick thought. Truckee Airbnb sued for SS provided girls. Interesting, Fred Field. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of that going on. Remember freaking MC Ultra, like hooking somebody up with an escort service? She said she had a cleaning client who asked her, and she was like, oh yeah, I know a couple of people, and handed over their numbers. It's like, wait, what? Come again? How would that be? How in the world? Well, again, answer my own question with her daddy's business, because he's the one who owns a lot of those places that she cleans. And then with knowing Scammy, I mean, that's the first one that comes to my mind. CB says the one in Truckee, the one in Trunk. Thank you, CB. Yes, I was thinking of that one too. Big time. The girl in the back of the SUV who is like not completely hogtied, but I think her wrists are tied together with zip ties, and her ankles are tied together with zip ties too. It's really crazy. Hey, Christine. Yay, nice to see you. So yeah, I was going to start wrapping up so that we can all go destroy our retinas. I wanted to talk a little bit more about Simon and Australia. That was another one of the mistakes that I made, and it was Ninja who looked him up. And I wanted to share with you guys his last name, because he's the one that swears that Camila and Charles are his biological parents. Simon in Australia. And I just wanted to provide you guys his last name in case you wanted to look up Simon Dorante Day. So Dornte, if somebody wants to type it into the chat. So Charles and Camila's son, Simon Dorante Day, Day. And it seems quite credible. I mean, if you watch a couple of these videos, and I will put links to them in the description, he literally looks exactly like Charles, and he looks exactly like Camila, and his age would be consistent with them having a teenage pregnancy right around when they were 18. Was his mom 19 when she gave birth to him, and she's like a year older than Charles? And they're cousins, you guys said? I hadn't had a chance to look up that. So that's why they couldn't get married back then, was not so much because of the illegitimate pregnancy, but because they were cousins. That's creepy AF. Let's see. I was making like the KR case. Sorry. No. Sorry. I'm getting caught up in back comments. Anything new on his end? On Simon's end, nothing that I know of, but I worry. Yeah, Simple Simon, or Simon Says. Sunset. Okay, is that what they call him by nickname? That's right. That was, I thought that was just like a joke. Gotcha. Let's see. A lot of the women in these cases, like Kylie, like Idaho 4, like Trinity Backus, like Gabby Petito, Shanann Watts, Natalie Holloway, Stacey Peterson, John Benet Ramsey, Helena Hutchins. A lot of these victims are extraordinarily attractive. And I wanted to bring that up because how glamorized and the target that often is made on the backs of women that are objects of affection, objects of attention. So it can be an interesting experience being treated that way, but it can also be a very dangerous experience. And I think with all of those that I named, it ties in with their demise. So when I was young, you guys, when I was a teenager, I felt like, yeah, come on in.
You can begin to see it starting.
Okay, thanks, honey. I'll let my people know. My son says that you can begin to see it now. So if we all want to wrap up. And yeah, I'm glad I was rescued from sharing too much about my own story. Anyway, I felt like I was in a very dangerous life. I felt like most people were very interested in me, or they absolutely hated me so much that they wanted to hurt me. And it wasn't fun. I didn't like it. I wanted to be a wallflower. And eventually I did what I could to try to become more like a wallflower. And it was a very satisfying experience. So maybe we'll talk about that more next time. I think we should wrap up. I wanted to talk about fear of commitment, taking risks, the failure, being paralyzed and crippled in your fear. And yeah, we'll wrap it up and we'll talk about these things tomorrow, hopefully. Let's see. We all need to get outside and not look at the sun, right? Okay. Simon Says, Sunset Salty says, I was just being funny. Well, it could be a good nickname because he is in the spotlight for what he's saying. So that wouldn't surprise me if that had become like a media nickname. Did Charles or Camila take a DNA test? No, Christine, I don't think they're going to. I think they're trying to shut him up, but they can't, because not only is he a real person and sane, but he's also married to somebody who's also a real person and sane, and they're not broke. I mean, I don't think they're wealthy like the royals, but his wife is a physician, and I don't know what he does for work, but you know, they're financially sound, so they can't just be knocked off. If they were rubbed out, people would know it would only like drive the point home. Right? Them refusing to tells a lot. Yeah, them refusing to tells a lot. Absolutely, Christine. Christine, I keep wanting to say Christina, but it started. I can feel the temperature change, and my rooster is crowing. Oh, how cool. Okay, let's wrap it up quickly. I did not show the creepy thumb, so we'll do that on the way out. Please hit that like button if you haven't yet. And thanks so much for being here, you guys. Hopefully, we'll all make it through and survive the eclipse, and we'll see you tomorrow. I think I'm going to be trying to do my videos, my lives before noon this week. So that's my plan. All right, time to go. Enjoy your day. Love and light. Take really good care of yourselves and especially take care of your retinas today. And if you're like me, just hide from it in case it burns everything, not just retinas. All right. Love you guys. Be well and see you soon on the next one.